that first day, by the time Blake was done, Blake rode into a pond and he's like, "Look, Dad." And I'm like, "No way." Good morning, friends. Welcome to the farm on Route 66. Thanks for following our channel. If you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe. But today I'm super excited to introduce you to probably our most famous rescue horse. And yet I honestly forget he's a rescue horse just because he's just part of the family and he's been with us for quite a while. So I'm excited to tell you about the horse we call Rawhide. Well guys, I'm just chilling here in the shade. Gonna talk about this beautiful horse right here. This is Rawhide, and I should go back and look at when the first videos with him were. But he came to the farm, I would guess, 4 years ago. And I had someone reach out that knew we sometimes buy horses, and they reached out and said, "Hey, would you take this horse?" And I said, "Well, send me a picture, tell me more about it." They're like, "Well, he's broke to ride and I want $1,200 and here's a picture." Well, I was like, okay, he looks pretty. He wasn't super thin like some of our rescue horses. He looked pretty, but I was like, $1,200 is a lot of money for a horse that I really know so little about, and they were pretty vague on what he was. Around here in the West, they still say if a horse is trained, they're broke. And I've noticed on our channel, people are like, "I don't like that word, that's terrible." And I totally get why you feel that way. The horse world has learned a lot, and now horses are taught in a much calmer, kind way, and we have tried to adopt those ways. But out here in the Western United States, if a horse is broke, it just means they're trained. And if they're well broke, they're trained very well, and you get the point. So they wanted me to buy this horse for $1,200 from a picture and said he was broke. And I was like, okay, he's pretty. I don't need more horses right now. $1,200 is more than I want to spend on a horse that I know so little about. And they said, "Well, can we bring him to your place?" And I said, "Well, you can bring him, but I'm not paying $1,200, but I'll look at him in person." So they brought him to the farm. They got him out and he was just shaking. And I said, "Well, you guys say he's broke to ride, he's trained. I want to watch you ride him." So they put a saddle on him and they got on, and he was quivering. And he didn't buck or do anything crazy, but he was just scared to death and kind of just shaking in his boots. And I was like, poor thing. And I said, "I still won't give you $1,200. They're like, "Well, will you take $500? And it was a bunch of boys, probably in their 20s. And I had the feeling they were just wanting some beer money for the weekend. And so they were willing to sell this horse that they had rounded up wild horses on and obviously been very rough with. And I was like, yes, I will take him. Mostly just so he had a better home. But I was nervous because of the way he just was shaking when you'd get on him. Well, if I remember right, Blake was at football practice or something at the time. And when Blake came home, I said, "Blake, I bought a horse." He said, "Really?" And that's not new to the farm, but Blake he just stepped on his reins. I hope he doesn't jerk back too hard. We'll see here in a minute. Like I say, it's not gonna hurt him. Oh, there he is, he's smart. But Blake, like always, wanted to run out and see what we'd got. And I said, "Well, he's broke to ride," but he was super scared. And Blake said, "I want to get on him." I'm like, "All right, Blake, be careful." And Blake loves riding horses. He loves a challenge. And that's why many of you have probably missed having Blake on the farm, because you miss seeing all of Blake's adventures. But Blake saddled him up, got on him. He was scared, he was nervous, but Blake just was super calm and quiet with him and rode off. And that began just an amazing adventure between Blake and Rawhide. And they became best of buds, and Rawhide would do and go anywhere Blake wanted him to. That first day, by the time Blake was done, Blake rode into a pond and he's like, "Look, Dad." And I'm like, "No way." And if we can find videos of some of the things I'm gonna tell you about, we'll include them here. But Blake rode him in a pond. He started riding him out in the desert and up the hills and all over the place. And we just had more fun. He had more fun with Rawhide than any horse, because Rawhide would go and do anything Blake wanted him to do. The crazy thing was, we noticed once in a while the Rawhide would spook when you walked up on his left side, and for no apparent reason. And we're like, what's going on? And we realized he is blind in his left eye. And yet you can't tell from looking at it. See, look how, well, he blinked at I just realized how bad the flies are right there. So on this side, see, he's not even blinking his eye. On this side, if I were just, see, he blinks every time. Anyway, we came to find out that he is blind on the left eye, and it doesn't look blind though. And I've shown the vet, and it's an old injury, and it doesn't look like a blue, glossy, milky looking blind eye, but he cannot see out of the left side. And so we've got this horse that had been abused. He was blind in one eye, and yet he became Blake's favorite horse. And Blake even rode Rawhide on the Pony Express ride, which was awesome. I'm sure we have some videos of that. We took Rawhide down to our annual family rodeo. We did all kinds of fun things with Rawhide, and he has truly become one of the family. He is just an amazing horse. Now, some of you remember that Lisa and Bernie in Chatsworth, California, offered to keep him and feed him while Blake was on his mission. So then he went to California and he learned to eat citrus, and he loves oranges, which is so funny. He'll eat the whole orange, peel and all. If I can find some video, I'll show you. It's so funny.
Fresh squeezed orange juice.
After a year, we were able to get him back on the farm. Just the timing was right. We had the possibility to bring him home, and we thought, you know what? Lisa and Bernie have blessed our life by feeding him for a year and taking care of him. But we want him to be here when Blake gets home in June, and so we know we have months to go. But it was just, the timing was right. It was perfect to bring him home. And that way, when Blake gets home, he doesn't have to plan a trip back out there to California to get his horse, because Blake's gonna be busy working and maybe school and dating and whatever else he does. Which reminds me, Blake's girlfriend Jocelyn, it's her birthday today. Blake and Jocelyn have birthdays 2 days apart. So by the time you watch this, it'll be a little after the fact. But happy birthday, Jocelyn. Jocelyn's been on a lot of rides with Rawhide. She was normally on Dutch's or Chipper, but she's been on a lot of rides. So guys, this is the beautiful horse we call Rawhide. He's probably 17 or 18 years old now. He's getting a little older, but he's in good shape, and he's just a sweet horse. And we make sure we talk to him when we come up on the left side. We talk to farriers and make sure they know to be cautious on the left side. But even if he's ever scared, he's never kicked or anything. He spooks, but it's just out of fear for himself. It's never trying to hurt wherever the fear is coming from. So he's never kicked at any of us. He's just an amazing horse. It was so fun when we went out to California and Blake got to ride him on the beach. Well, everybody tell me what you think of our favorite rescue, Rawhide. He's such a beautiful boy. We're so grateful he's on the farm. And this is one that will stay on the farm, or when Blake gets home, it's his horse. So wherever Blake goes, as long as Blake's got a place to keep horses, Rawhide will go with him. Otherwise, he'll be here on the farm with us. But we love this horse. We hope you've enjoyed getting to know him better and his story. And Rawhide, we love you.